Okay, so I just did this video last night, right, about the commodities thing. They're dropping the margins on, and again, not just the initial margin or just the maintenance margin, one or the other, but both margins on all commodities, basically across the board, to pull people back into the old COMEX. And I said there could be alternative motives here. You know, I've brought a good case, and then I gave you the other side of why maybe not. Not this time there's ulterior motive. Maybe they want to ride this train to the top. Now, having said that, just before I did that video earlier, was it earlier that morning or the day before? I did the video about you can't, yeah, I think it was that morning. You can't squeeze blood from a turnip or whatever. Well, in the case of the bankers, they can. They did squeeze blood from the Greek turnip. First time in history you could actually squeeze the blood from a turnip. That's basically what I said in my video. They somehow pulled it off again. It was a done deal. We've come to an agreement. It's good. And then I read to you the section specifically. You go watch the video again if you don't remember this. I read you the section where I said, wait a minute, if this is a done deal, this is guaranteed, they're dealing on, this is it, they're doing it. Why is this little section here about they have to agree to the full package or something like that? That's what's in the article. The full package still has to be agreed to by Greece and the IMF and the other two bozos. So why would that be in this article if the rest of the article is saying it's done, it's a done deal, it's agreed upon, we're going to do it? Thought that was a little odd, and I even mentioned that to you, that was a little odd. So here we are, not even a day later, not even 24 hours has passed, and the entire thing is now undone. No, there was not an agreement, we can't come to an agreement. What do you mean you can't come to an agreement? You said there was an agreement, and you came to the agreement, it was a done deal. Yeah, we were just kidding, basically. It's completely destroyed. There will be no deal. Greece, it was nice knowing you. Have a nice day. On that news, the market, pre-market trading, is down in the red across the board. Gold and silver, naturally, and other commodities, down across the board. All commodities, for the most part. Most commodities are down also, in other words. So the market, generally speaking, the big blanket market is down, which again, banks are down, stock, Dow, all the pre-trading stuff, it's down. Pre-market is down, which means the rest of the day is more than likely going to be down based on this news out of Greece. Stick a freaking fork in it, basically. So having said that, I thought to myself, well, isn't that interesting? The absolute pure timing, the pure timing of the CME group. Hey, we're lowering all the margins, everybody, come back into the markets. Because keep in mind, there are some other things aside from commodities that potentially are affected too by what the CME group did, that you can trade as a few, you know, basically on the COMEX. Other paper assets, in other words. I even hate using that word, paper asset, because there's no such thing as a piece of paper that's an asset. Normally, the piece of paper represents an asset that you're supposed to have or own at any time, only to find out when you really need it the most. Ask everybody who had their deal with GMF Global. When you need it the most, it's not there, you didn't have an asset, we're not even giving you the paper back to start a new contract. We're canceling that out, it's gone. Your gold or commodity, whatever this paper represented, it's gone. We're gonna give you 70-something% back in a settlement. Huh? But it's like going to the grocery store with a bag of groceries. Here's my groceries, here's the money. How much is all that? It's $175. Here you go. Give them that, and then they immediately take all the groceries away. I mean, right then and there, they take all the groceries away right in front of your face. And then say, $175, you're getting back roughly 72% of what you gave us. Huh? Yeah, have a nice day. But I just got these groceries. I just placed the order right now. And you said it was good because I placed it right now. Yeah, but we just went bankrupt in that smidgen of amount of time. We're bankrupt. So, hey, we could leave you with nothing. Here's 72%, have a nice day. That's what happened to those people. So, again, CME Group comes out, announces this across the board dropping of margin, initial margin, maintenance margin. Basically unprecedented. Literally, unprecedented move by the CME Group. Hey, they're backing off. They're going to let these commodities rise once and for all. And then within literally hours later, not even a full day later, basically, we get this news out of Europe, Greek, right? The whole thing, it's in shambles. The deal's not going through. That's it. They had till February, what was it, 14th or 15th or something, Valentine's Day, the old Valentine's Day massacre. That's what they're talking about. It wasn't an old horror movie, the Valentine's Day massacre. No, that's something else. The Valentine's Day massacre is Greece. That's what they meant. So you don't think by chance the CME group was trying to not let the markets crash nearly as much as they wanted to by allowing everything to come down? Hey, it's easy to get back in. That way when the announcement from Greece comes out the next day, which is today, and destroys the markets across the board, not necessarily destroys them, but heavy duty red zone, you could say, based on that news, the euro / US dollar, index, it just dived off a cliff. As I saw the chart this morning. That's done. So now the euro's back down. Have a nice day. Again, this is all Lindsey Williams stuff. He's already covered all this. So has the Webbot, for God's sakes. It says it's talking about the same thing. So all I'm saying is, do you think that there's a little tiny possibility that the CME group did something incredibly unprecedented, never before done like this ever, where they just dropped them across the board like this, and for the percentages they dropped them, by the way, only to have the next day bad stock market and commodity news come out, and you're hoping to lessen that so it's not nearly as severe by allowing people to get back in the markets at the exact same time. I mean, really? Come on. There's no way, statistically speaking, I guarantee you, if you can figure out the exact statistics of this, there's no way in hell that you'll say, well, yeah, we're looking at it, it could have been just chance. When you add up these things, CME group dropping both margins across the board, again, not just silver, as I said last night, which they always attack silver and raise it. They went across the board and dropped all margins. Next day, terrible news out of Greece, the Eurozone basically. Europe is in trouble because this Greek problem, it's not just Greek for the Greek people or just Greece as a nation. It encompasses the euro. It has to do with the euro getting destroyed or not. And as you can see from the chart, if you go look at it right now, you will realize, holy crap, the euro just dived off a cliff pretty good, actually, based on this news. So there's not going to be a deal with Greece apparently. And even if they come up with another deal, that's a done deal, which they just showed you the done deal isn't a done deal, even if they say it is, because of what just happened. It's now undone. It is an undone deal. Maybe they'll come up with one and, another week from now, we just hashed it out and we were able to close this deal off. Oh, thank God. It's not the end of the world. The markets rally again. Only to find out a couple weeks later, a month later, it's even worse than it was before. Deal fell apart. We're done. It could happen just like that. But from the looks of it right now, looking right this second, it appears that the Greek deal is done. Stop, basically. And could it be that thing I read you last night about the freaking, national Greek police thing, all getting together, we're going to indict these people, the IMF, the EU, we're indicting them because they're, hurting our people, literally, in our country, and the international law states that your people are more important first, then paying back stuff a second? And then all of a sudden everyone's backing off the deal, we're not going to do it? Could it be possible that they just got scared and said, oh, that's it? I'm prestigious and I wear a suit and tie, but I'm still a felon. I'm still basically a mobster, politician / financier / banker. And everything's fine as long as the people don't arrest us or hurt us. They can stand there and protest until we tired of seeing their faces, then we tell the police to get rid of them. But they can stand and do that. When they start to get violent or start talking about arresting us, that's when we lose. Is it possible that also played a role in these people backing off? Oh, no, we're not going to come to a deal, and just letting Greece go? It's possible. I'm not in these freaking conversations. I don't know. But when you look at the events and then put them like a little puzzle piece next to each other, and then you realize these aren't puzzle pieces that one was last year, one was 7 months ago. Okay, one was yesterday in the morning, one was yesterday afternoon, another one was yesterday evening. Tonight while I was sleeping, something happened, and now that I woke up this morning, it's finished. So there's 5 pieces of puzzle or so that happened back to back. When you look at that chain of events, there's no way in hell that it was just that's a coincidence. That one also is a coincidence. That's a coincidence. And they all tie together, by the way, but they're all coincidences. No way in hell. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. I can't wait to see what happens today with all the markets. It's going to be fantastic. In a red, bad way.